5 marks question, this one. Next. Alter the share capital, yes, you can do it. In the place of court, we have tribunal. Since tribunal is yet to be constituted, is yet to be enforced. Next. Subdivide, consolidate, cancel, all those things are there. Only thing is power in the article is required. Further issue of capital, section 62, because the chairman specifically insisted, please highlight on it. Further issue of capital, section 81. 81.1, small a, consisting of 4 subclasses, 81.1 capital A, then there is an exemption provision. That's all the whole story of the earlier 81. And fundamentally, that is not applicable to private company. Now, remove the word not applicable. That means applicable to all companies. As simple as that. Then what the law further says, in the case of the new provision, that is 62, you offer to the existing shareholders, under the articles otherwise provide, you can also include the renunciation right. Then, in the event, if there are unsubscribed portions, then the board of directors can allot to any other person other than given under A and B above, provided it is most beneficial to the shareholders of the company and the company. You can see one word is added as compared to the old one. It is only to the benefit of the company. Now I think it is benefit to the shareholders and the company. One more word is added there. Now the second, I will tell you one practical situation also, so that for the benefit of everyone here. The second situation, if it is going to be an ESOP, then this provision will not come. Then in the case of want to offer to any person other than the existing, blessing of the shareholders, then you can do it. Now, but that is subject to the restriction imposed under some 42 or 48, I think 48, I think, subject to that restriction. Now, coming to the practical aspect, there are situations where we have the JV partners and we do not want to go to the shareholders resolution. Therefore, we will make a rights issue. We will make all other shareholders say sorry, and thereby, or we will say all the shareholders renounce the shares in favor of the foreign shareholder, because the right of renunciation is there. When the right of renunciation is given there, then 81.1 capital A will not apply. Therefore, I can straight away give it to the foreign promoter. He can get it, so I can bypass that particular route. But beware, the Reserve Bank of India is not accepting it. They are taking the matter into consideration, and they are saying, by virtue of this, you are trying to circumvent the provision of special resolution of the shareholders in general meeting. Therefore, you are not permitted to do this. Clear? So, don't think that you are trying to achieve something in this by way of renunciation and doing it. Probably what you can do is, instead of the renunciation right, ask them not to subscribe. Let the board of directors allot the share to such person as they may deem fit. By utilizing the earlier 81.1D, now it is subclass C in the new section 62. Clear? Keep this in the corner of the mind. It is not one law alone you are going to comply. There will be a host of other legislation that will also affect the corporate sector because of the DCF method valuation for that. These are all the conditions for the ESOP. But this, as I said, this runs to 3 to 4 pages in the rules as it is. But I have just covered everything, but there is no time for me to elaborate on it. Please go ahead. It has defined everyone, who is an employer, who is an employee, what a stock means, what are the options can be given, when the option can be exercised. Everything has been, very beautifully has been defined in that. But only thing is you have to comply with all the rules. These are all the disclosures in the explanatory statement. The exercise price, next. Can the terms be varied? Yes, subject to certain compliances. Next. Time gap, yes, 1 year should be there. In the event of merger, the same thing will continue to be shifted to them. Lock-in period, yes. Right to receive dividend, shall not have right to receive any dividend or vote in any manner, enjoy the benefit of shareholder in respect of the option granted them till the shares are allotted in exercise of the option. So long it is an option, you don't get the benefit. Payable at the time of option, right to transfer pledge, next. Disclosure in the director's report. Once you do it, retain it, make some small changes, publish it here. As simple as that. Statute register you are supposed to maintain and should be kept at the registered office of the company. ESOP by a listed company also meet the requirement of SEBI. And you are supposed to, there is a length of notice, at least 3 days before the opening of the issue, you are supposed to send the notice to them. Go ahead, this is earlier 81.1 capital A. Same thing will come in place, again, same repetition. Bonus shares. Now, as far as the bonus share is concerned, there is only one small thing that you have to keep in mind. Revaluation reserves were used to be capitalized earlier because there is a Supreme Court judgment on that issue. Except in the case of listed company, other companies will be able to do. There are companies which have done it, Now they made it categorical. Reserves created out of revaluation reserves cannot be used for issuing bonus shares. Once I issue, can I withdraw the decision? The law says, sorry, you cannot. Prerequisites, the same logic. As I told you, default in payment of interest, default in respect of statute dues to employees, the law views it very seriously. This is the same thing, erstwhile section. Go again, go ahead please. These are all the same thing, there is no change in that. Reduction of share capital, this section, conveniently we can omit it because the concept NCLT has not come, so section has not been notified. Can you buy your own shares? That is the existing 77 capital A. The same logic, there is the buyback of shares, you affectionately call it as. That's what is being given here. There is only small minor changes that have been made, but nothing has, great thing has happened. Proceed. I think I can skip this. Go ahead, Ma. I think you're coming to an end. Thanks a lot for the share capital part of it. Now we have only one more. That I will take only 5 minutes because the number of sections are 4, number of forms are 7. Okay, very, very simple. I will run through that particular slides, but before that, only one aspect I will dealt at length. That will take 5 minutes for me. Otherwise, by and large, there is no great change in the case of deposits except you cannot accept public deposits, fundamental. Then slight change, became wiser. You can take it from members. Still became wiser. You can, certain categories of companies can take from others subject to so many conditions. That's all the whole story. Basic, you cannot accept public deposits. Because that is the job of MBFC, that is the job of banking company. Your job is not that. Your job is to manufacture, to buy, to sell, to deal in, to import, to export. Don't take public money. Then slowly they relaxed it. No. Your part owners can give money to you. Then they say, are you fulfilling the threshold limit? Yes. Then probably you can take your begging bowl to the public. They have given some details. The rest of it, you have to issue a receipt, you have to file a return of investments. All the things remain the same. Then what is the catch that you have to remember? The catch is the definition of the term deposit. Right? So the definition of the term deposit, what we call them as an exempted deposit, that we need to understand thoroughly, then only we will know when we call the money that we received is a deposit or the money that we received is not a deposit within the meaning of this act. Right? That's where I am going to take you around. What do you mean by the term deposit? The term deposit includes any receipt of money. How? By way of deposit or by way of loan or in any other form by a company. Company kulla endha vidathila panam vandalum sari, it is called as deposit. Clear? There used to be a subtle difference earlier between the term deposit and loan. Based on the Penwalt India Limited case, they used to say loan always runs with the character repayable on demand, whereas deposit is for a contractual period. And in the case of a loan, the prime mover is the man who is in need of money, whereas in the case of a deposit, the person who has the money. Basic difference was there. Then subsequently, some small change took place also. I think under 295 or 372A, there is a definition. The term loan includes so and so, but does not include deposit accepted by from another company. That is intercorporate deposits will not come within the meaning of it. Now what it does not include? First one from government. I don't know which government is going to give any money because everyone is in a deficit budget. Money received from foreign, all the things are foreign, right? All of them are not deposits. Money received against the issue of commercial paper, money received by a company from any other company, that is called as ICD, is not a deposit. This is the one thing immediately day to day we get affected. The rest of it are all only once in a blue moon it will happen. Any amount received and held pursuant to an offer made in accordance with the provisions of the Act towards subscription to any securities, what we call as share application money or advance for share capital. Up to that looks so nice. See the note. If the securities for which application money or advance for security was received cannot be allotted within 16 days from the date of the receipt of the application money, such application money advance is not refunded within 15 days, it will be treated as a deposit. So the moment you get it, allotted within 60 days or refund it, again take it. That's what it indirectly says. Don't keep it with you. Give a check, take another check, go for another 60 days. Give a check, take a check, go for another 60 days. Clear? So only thing is some 52 rupees or 60 rupees bank charges for extra leave that you might keep in mind. Next, previous one. The last line is very, very important. Normally what we do is, there is some amount outstanding to him. That amount share applicable, we will adjust it towards that. Law says, no, you can't do that. What is it? I owe to him, I am adjusting it. No. Give the check, take the check. And put one more entry. That's all. You can't adjust it for anything else. Next. Any amount received by a person who at the time of the receipt of the amount was a director of the company. Earlier you can see, you can receive money, even in the definition of the term private company, there will be a wording, you are not prohibited from accepting or inviting deposit from the public other than directors or his relatives or members. And the rules will say you must get a declaration in writing from them that it is not out of borrowed funds. Now simply only director. All others scrapped. Even from the relative of the director you cannot. So what is the moral of the story? Whenever you want to take, make him as a director, file the form, take the money, ask him to go. That is the moral of the story. See, I want to comply with the law. You don't allow me to comply with the law. You force me to do something which is not expected of me. This is how we are being pushed to do something and call ultimately as fraud. I am not committing fraud. I am doing only what you permit me to do. Any amount raised by way of issue of bonds, etc., we can forget that. The next one, any amount received from an employee of the company not exceeding his annual salary under a contract of employment with the company in the nature of non-interest bearing security deposit. How many conditions you see? First, annual salary. அவன் ஒரு வருஷம் கூட இருப்பானானே தெரியாது. ஆனா annual salary we have to compute. And that amount alone I can take it. That also should be a interest security deposit. This concept security deposit was in vogue, especially for the position of cashier. அவன் புட்டிதுக்கு ஓடிட போறான்னு பயம். கொஞ்சம் பணம் எடுத்து வச்சுப்போம், right? But now everything is covered by insurance. That fidelity insurance or something like that is there. So no one gives a security deposit because he is coming there because he don't have money. That's why he has come for your employment. Initially itself, you make him as a person to borrow somewhere and to give you a security deposit. Then naturally his hands will go and try to see how best he can take it. Any non-interest bearing amount received or held in trust. Next. Up to that is okay. See again, next one. Any amount received in the course of or for the purpose of the business of the company as an advance for the supply of goods or provision of services, all those things are fine. Within a period of 365 days from the date of acceptance of advance, it should be appropriated. Otherwise, what the law says, if due to reason that the company accepting the money does not have necessary permission or approval wherever required to deal in the goods or properties or services for which the money is taken, then the amount received shall be deemed to be a deposit on the expiry of 15 days from the date they become due for refund. Especially a big infrastructure projects or whatever it is, or any particular business, you take some advances. You spend that money to do some initial state things. You purchase raw materials, etc. to do it. But you're waiting for some clearance from some authorities, which got delayed. You know that government authorities, when you make an application, when you will get the approval. Sometimes even the managerial remuneration approval, we make an application, the approval will come at that after the expiry of the tenure of the managing director. Everything gets attracted. Yes, yes. Yes, everything will be, yes. Yeah, you will get removal of difficulties order. That's why I said, see, when they drafted, they have not envisaged all these things. You can see this note almost in all the classes that is going to come subsequently. You are going to get into problems in that. ராஜகோபால் சார் இப்பவே யோசிக்க ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டார் இல்ல நான் தெரியும் உங்களுக்கு ப்ராப்ளம் வருது நீங்க மூஞ்சி பார்த்துட்டு தெரிஞ்சுட்டேன் next see this note will come everywhere on account of property, on account of security deposit, everywhere. Any advance received under long term projects also, that provision continues.
More of a deemed deposit than deposit.
Exactly. That's why it is called the deemed legislation only, because it is regulated only by rules. It is called as Companies Act 2013 bracket prescribed. It's called as Prescribed Companies Act 2013. Next. Everywhere. Only thing is, Nidhi company is outside the purview. Because that Nidhi company, neither this act will apply, nor the RBI will apply, as a third gender. Supreme Court has recognized the third gender also. Same logic, Nidhi is also recognized. Next. This rest of it, I think we can skip. Voting by depositor, everything. And of course, Casey also made a mention about blocking the funds of 15%, both for the current and also for the next year, and putting it. And in addition, we are giving an advertisement, brokerage, commission. Ultimately, what the company will have? Nothing. So the whole intention is very clear in the way in which they have drafted. Don't take public deposits. So they are trying to come to that. Straight away, they didn't say it. They put it in so many regards, no? Like you pass the examination, each paper you get 40, and aggregate you must get 50, and see the CC is given. How difficult it is to pass the exam, we know it. Same logic here. So I'm stopping with this because 115 they wanted me to stop. The rest of it is there. Any amount of questions you can ask. No, Dibanjar, there is nothing more to say except DRR and other things. Nothing great in the changes that has taken. No, it is there, sir. All the forms are there. All the forms are prefixed with the chapter name. Okay, earlier it was convenient for us. One level 30 வரைக்கும் ஞாபகம் வச்சிருந்தா போறோம். அப்படி கிடையாது. இந்த ஒண்ணே 4 தடவை ஞாபகம் வச்சுக்கணும். SCH1, FR11, AOP1, ADP1 எல்லாம். Right? So I think we need to memorize all these things, take the respective things and do it. Otherwise, now coming to whether to welcome or not to welcome. I think I can make a mention, no issue, no? Okay. Because chairman's permission is there, because chairman ultimately regulates the meeting. That's what this law also says. You will be surprised, this law has so many things. Are you able to hear me?
Yeah.
Sure, madam? You're able to hear? This is what the chairman should do. Are you able to hear me? Speaking from Germany, are you able to hear me? Speaking from France, are you able to hear me? Are you able to hear what she said and you are able to understand what he said in the way he wants to say? So 1 year orientation program for every director becomes mandatory.